Hey guys, Rexlent here. Wuthering Waves is launching or has already launched by the time of this posting, and I know a lot of you are curious about how the characters are played and what the combat is like, so that is the agenda of this video. I will go over each character and briefly teach you how their forte circuits, aka their playstyle, is done. First of all, thanks to Kuro Games for sponsoring this video. The footage that you see is from a test server and does not represent the final build, so that's a disclaimer, I have to put it out there, but the character gameplay should still remain mostly accurate. Also, as you know, since CBT2 was pretty short, I have had limited time and resources to play all the characters, so we will not go too in-depth on the optimal combos and stuff. We'll keep it simple and I'll explain them to the best of my abilities. Before we begin, let me quickly summarize the combat system in Wuthering Waves. So, combat controls are pretty standard. With the left click button, you have your basic attack combo chain. Doing it while jumping with the spacebar will also result in a plunge attack. This consumes stamina. Holding basic attack will trigger a heavy attack, and this also consumes stamina. Next, the resonance skill, which is the character's standard skill. This is mapped to the E key by default, and they are generally cooldown based. After that, there's also Resonance Liberation, which is their signature move, aka ultimate move, mapped to the R key. We'll just simplify Resonance Skill and Resonance Liberation as the E and R keys respectively. Resonators can also equip echoes for stats and bonus effects, and the topmost echo that you equip will be assigned to the echo skill command, the Q key. Same thing, they're also cooldown based. Right click is dodging, and when you activate this and successfully dodging an incoming attack, everything will be momentarily slowed. Dodging also has a minor delay if you do it twice in a row, so that's something to take note of. Next is the T key, which is the shortcut for utility tools. In this case, I'll be using the grapple. Now, if you look at the bottom center of the screen, there's a ring gauge and a horizontal gauge for every character. Starting with the ring gauge, that is the concerto energy. This gauge builds up as you do combat, and once it's filled, the game will indicate that a powerful character switch is ready. What this does is that it will trigger the leaving character's outro skill and at the same time the intro skill of the next character, while also dealing big damage to the enemy's vibration strength gauge, aka the stagger gauge of elites and bosses. You can take your time to check the outro and intro skill of each character in the game, and this is basically how team composition decisions are made, based on the outro skills of the characters, as most of them come with buffs that benefit the next character. Last but not least, the Forte Circuit Gauge. In other words, the core passive of each character and what makes them unique in their kit, and this is what I'll be mainly talking about in this video, so let us begin, starting with our main character, Rover. Okay, I'll keep it brief, as this is just a guideline to get you started on the game. You can read the rest of the tooltips in-game at your own time. So, beginning with Rover, you can see that he has a gauge here, and a hint to know how a character is played is to look at this over here. So for Rover, it shows E. That means every time you press E, as long as there's half a gauge available, his resonate attack will be enhanced. So I'll show you. When I press E, it'll look like this. And there is a follow-up to this. So you press E and then you press basic attack again on the enhanced resonant attack. So E, basic. That's it. The gauge will charge on its own when you battle, and this is what the basic E looks like without any enhancement. Like that, just a simple slash. And then, for his basic attack, when you spam basic attack 4 times in a row, it looks like this. Like that. However, if you pause on the third combo, wait a bit, and then press basic attack after the delay, 1, 2, 3, pause, basic, like that. So 1, 2, 3, pause, basic. That's it for Rover. And then for his ultimate, it's just a front AoE burst. It's a really large AoE, so it's really good for clearing mobs. So let me start crownless and show you some demonstration. If you see a golden ring like that, that's the parry. Simply just press attack or skill against it once the 2 circles align. And then parry will do a lot of damage to their vibration gauge. So vibration gauge is that white gauge at the top. Once it goes empty, the boss will go into a down state. So let's see what happens. Normal attack also reduces the vibration gauge. Switching also reduces it by a lot. So let me switch Yangyang in. Say, 1 whole chunk gone. And there we go. So this is another basic for combat, the stagger. So once enemies go into 0 vibration, they go into a down state, and then you see the yellow gauge gradually go down, and then they'll recover, like that. And then it resets, and then you do it again. As for Yangyang, it's really simple as well. Basic attack combo looks like this. Normal. And then for her heavy attack, she has a follow-up. So it's this stab. And then if you press basic attack after it, there's a follow-up to it. So for her gauge, as you can see, it's broken down into 3 parts. She gets 1 part every time she does either a 4th combo or her E skill or that follow-up heavy attack or a dodge counter. So lots of sources. I can't demonstrate it right now because she needs to be in combat to get a gauge, but I'll explain her E and R skill. For E skill, it's simple. It's a mini getter AoE. Like that. That's all you need to know. And then for R skill, even bigger getter, big vacuum. And then she has iframe during this. So let me show you the core passive. So 3 gauges. Just press and hold basic and press basic again. That is a core passive. So let me do it one more time. Okay. Press and hold basic. Press again. She can also activate this in mid-air. So let me demonstrate. Like that. Just like that. Okay, for Chixia, it's really simple. She has 2 charges to her E, so if you tap E, it'll look like this. And you can control the direction of her slide. Doing this will give her 25 points to her gauge. And as you can see, I already have it maxed out at 60. So what this gauge does is, if you hold E, she will expand her gauge and go into a shooting frenzy. And then after 30 bullets are spent, you can press basic attack for a really huge nuke attack. Hold E. And then there's a marker below. And now she glows. Left click. So that's the big attack. One thing to note about guns is that you can go into manual aiming by pressing G. Like this. She'll also charge up her weapon. That's the charge shot. You can also do this by holding left click without going into full manual aiming. And one thing to note is that pistols cannot parry, so look at this. You gotta dodge them. It does nothing. Alright, so let's do her E, hold E. And then left click when she glows. Like that. Alright, next up, Baizhi. Baizhi is really simple to use. 4 parts to her gauge. Each part is gained by performing a basic attack. And then you consume them all, either using E or hold basic attack, which is a heavy attack. So if I press E, those 4 stacks will turn into regen. If you press and hold basic attack into a heavy attack, Yotan will be constantly attacking the enemy, and you can control the direction it goes. Consume stamina, as you can see, and then you can just release when you're done. As for her attacks, it's kinda difficult to parry with, so usually I would just do a jump attack, like that, because it sends Yotan to the boss, like that. And every time you dodge, it calls it back to her. Again, jump attack. That's the best way to parry, in my experience. So I have 4 stacks, I can consume them all using E. Normal attack again, 4 stacks. And then you can also hold basic attack. You can just hold a bit and release, and then she spends all the stacks. And that's it. For her ultimate, it's also a heal, and then a regenerative heal. Over time, as long as it hits the enemy. Like that. Pulsing heal. And that's how you play Baizhi. For Sanhua, it's really simple. Press and hold basic attack, and you can see at the bottom of the gauge, the ticker moves from left to right. All you need to do is release it as it's in the blue field here. Like that. And then she'll do her enhanced charge attack. She places an ice with her E skill, and then when you do the same charge attack, she'll shatter it. And you can also notice that the window is also bigger after doing E. So you shatter it again. Like that. Alright, same thing for ultimate. She places an ice. So you can use ultimate, and then you use your E, and then press and hold, and shatter them all. That's how you play Sanhua. You can also do this if you're really good at rhythm games, constantly pressing and hold and releasing it on the blue. And lastly, her intro attack, she places an ice, like that. So intro ice, E ice, ultimate ice, 3 ice, and then you shatter them, all 3 together. And that's how you play Sanhua. Moving on to the next character. Okay, for Taoqi, first of all, it's all about using her E skill, and it'll give her 3 charges of these, and if she takes damage, it'll be converted into one part of the gauge, or when it expires, then all of them will be turned into the gauge, and I'll explain what the gauge does in the next section. Before I begin combat, you can press and hold basic attack and she'll go into a blocking stance, and any attack that she takes, she'll counter it, and that's when you press basic attack constantly, and she will use up her gauge for an enhanced combo, and then you rinse and repeat. You press E again and convert it into gauge, and then parry attack again. So now that I have a full gauge, I'll show you what I mean. I will block the first attack, and then just press left click. This is the enhanced combo, like that, and then it turns into shield. So now I press E again. So I have 3 of these. If I take hit, it turns into a gauge. You can also block it. Gauge. So I got hit again. So that's 3 gauges again. You can also wait for this to expire and she'll go into a parry combo anyway. Like that. So TLDR, either she takes damage or when the shield expires. So it's gonna expire soon. See, 3 gauges again. Block, left click all the way. There we go. E again. Her E skill also transfers to the next character, so they get defense up with it. And for her intro, when she comes into battle with her intro attack, she goes straight into the parry combo with a full gauge. So you can just constantly press basic attack once she enters the field, like that. Just left click all the way. It's the enhanced combo, see? And that's how you play Taoqi. Next character. Okay, so for Aalto, how to generate his gauge, it's really simple. When he does his 4th basic combo, he generates mist. And then when you continue shooting at enemies through this mist, he generates gauge points over here. So right now I have it full for demonstration. The next thing you do to expand the gauge point is dodge into the mist. So like this, and then dodge. And release. For his E skill, it's similar. He places a decoy, targets will be baited to it, and it also fires missiles from it, and also generates a mist, so you can shoot through it as well, and dodge into it as well. So you press E, and then you start shooting, get the full gauge, and then you dodge into it, and release. That's how you play it in combat. Alright, so let's test it on Crownless. Same thing, pistols cannot parry, so be careful. Got the mist, shoot through the mist, dodge into it, release. Make mist again, dodge into the mist. Release. Use E skill. Generate mist. Dodge into it. Release. So that's generally how you play Aalto. So for his ultimate, he generates a screen. Same thing, you just want to shoot through the screen and all bullets get a damage increase. So I'll place it like this. And then just shoot through it. You can place your E as well. Shoot through it. And you can do this. Even missed bullets that go through the screen gets the damage increase. So yeah, that's about it for Aalto. Really simple. Okay. The favorite, Danjin. How to play her. She has 2 combos. This combo. That is the mark combo. And then this combo. That is her damaging combo. Like the main combo that she uses. So the reason why you want to do the mark combo is because she leaves a mark where she does 20% more damage to them and it lasts for 12 seconds. So always have that up. She can also do the mark combo when you press E after doing a dodge counter. So let's start with the mark combo. Mark combo, 2 basic and 2 E. So 2 basic, 2 E. That's the mark combo. The long combo, same thing. 3 basic, 3 E. 3 basic, 3 E. You can also substitute the first basic with an E. It's the same thing. So like mark combo, E, basic, E, E. Or the 3-1, E, basic, basic, E, E, E. So the more E you use, the more gauge you use, like this. And then once she has at least half gauge, you can press and hold left click and she'll do her nuke attack. And then press basic to finish it off. So of course, you want it to do at maximum gauge for the maximum amount of damage. You can also do it at half gauge. She gets some healing when she does this, like that. And also ultimate energy. And also her E skill has no cooldown, it uses her health. That's something to know. Now let's try it on Crownless. I'm already pre-charging. Placing the mark. Now you can see the mark on him. It's like a flower symbol. And dodge counters can be done with E as well. Let me demonstrate. Dodge and then basic and then E. So every time she dodge counters, she renews the mark with her mark combo. And then press and hold left click. And left click again. That's how you play Danjin. Ultimate is just a flurry of attacks. Like that. In short, 2 basic, 2 E first for the mark, and then 3 basic, 3 E. And then you can also substitute the first basic for an E. Or E, basic, basic, E, E, E. And then once the gauge is half or full, just hold left click and left click again. That's it. Okay, so for Yuanwu, it's really easy. All you need to do is place the Thunder Witch, which is his E skill. Place this down, and he'll continually charge his gauge. This thing here will also perform support attack when he attacks the enemy during this. And then once it's full, press and hold E. And for 10 seconds, he goes into an enhanced state, attacking even faster. Comes with a new heavy attack. That. And also does more stagger damage. That's pretty much it, how to play Yuanwu. Really simple. Place E down, full gauge, hold down E, and just beat them up. So let's try it on Crownless. Okay. E is ready. And ultimate is a super punch that gives 10 seconds of anti-interruption. And then hold E again and beat the hell out of Crownless. And pretty much it, that's how you play Yuanwu. This Thunder Wedge also stays on the field when you switch characters, allowing them to get support attacks from it as well, like that. And that's it. Moving on to the next character. Mortefi, also very simple. Just press E on cooldown and just keep shooting them. That's it. Just keep shooting them, and when you see E, just press it on cooldown. And when his ultimate is ready, you can activate it and switch to the next character. And it'll perform support fire whenever they do basic or heavy attacks. So let's try it. Same thing, just keep shooting. E on cooldown. And then alt and switch. Look at all the support fires. Alright, moving on to the next character. Alright, time for the 5 stars, starting with Calcharo. Calcharo is really simple. All you need to do is perform 3 E's on the target, and he'll get 1 gauge segment each. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you finish it off with heavy attack by holding left click. That's all. Now let's go straight into battle. You can also chain the E's in between. It has you have about 7 seconds to perform the next E. If it's too hot, second E. I'm gonna parry this. Third E. Parry this. Hold left click. That's his forte attack. So E, E, E. Hold left click. That's pretty much it, how you play Calcharo. Now for his ultimate, it's really simple. Just press ultimate and spam basic, that's all. Spam basic, he'll just go crazy. There you go. That's it. And now there's a special thing about Calcharo. After he uses his ultimate, his next intro attack will be enhanced. Very cinematic. Now watch this. I'm gonna switch Calcharo in and you'll see his improved intro attack for using ultimate. Very cool. Alright, that's the end for Calcharo. Moving on to the next character. For Lingyang, all you need to know is his E skill has no cooldown because it's a finisher to his combo. So every 3 to 5 basic, you can finish it off with E. So this will look different in combat. And once the gauge is filled from doing that, you can press and hold heavy attack and just spam basic after that. He does an air combo. You can also press E after every second combo for more damage. And that's the end. This is the end of the combo. Using his ultimate will result in a nuke and also give him 50% glacial for 14 seconds and also a large amount of gauge. And his forte gets extended, his mid-air forte. So let's try it on crownless. So 1, 2, 3, E, that's the forward lunge. 1, 2, 3, E, 1, 2, 3, E. So now that our gauge is full, let's do it again, go up. So 1, 2, E, and then finish it off. Like that. And 1, 2, 3, E again. 2, 3, E. 1, 2, 3, E. Let's parry this. Alright, let's use ultimate. You'll see what I mean. Large amount of gauge, straight to full. Go back up. 1, 2, E. 1, 2, E. 1, 2, E. And finish. So that's how you play Lingyang. One more thing, he can also go into a chain of heavy attack by constantly doing heavy and then basic, heavy, basic, heavy, basic. Just something for you to know. Like that. Down, forward, down, basic, heavy, down, basic. And that's it. Moving on to the next character. Alright, next up, Verina. She's a 5-star healer support and a really good one at that. For her, she gets her gauge by doing her E skill or her 5th attack combo on the target, or her intro skill. And then to spend her gauge, all you need to do is either do her heavy, the slide, or air attack, like that. So if you want to clear it really quickly, all you need to do is just jump and attack. She can do it 3 times. Like that. And while spending the gauge, she gets healing and also concerto energy. Like that. Get gauge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Use E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Already got that parry in. And then I just need to jump and attack. Let me parry this. Jump attack. 1, 2, 3. 3 gauge. Can also slide. Like that. And then as for her ultimate, she will place a mark on the enemy. And then anyone that attacks the target will get healed and also spectral damage on them. So I'll do ultimate. Switch in. So you see, the plant roots are attacking crownless. Also with healing. And switch her back in again. Look, it's already ready. Concerto ready. So she's really easy to play. Very user-friendly. And that's it for Verina. Next character. Okay, now for Encore. Encore also gets her gauge from doing her E skill, basic attack, an intro, and also her ultimate attack. And then once her gauge is full, all you need to do is press left click and she'll just explode like this. As for her E skill, there is 2 parts to it. So you press E, and then when you see the prompt, you press E again. Like so. E, and then E. As for Resonance Liberation, her ultimate, all her moves will change. So you will start with E first and then spam basic, and then E again and then spam basic, and then finish it off with charge attack. So let me demonstrate it to you. Let me just dodge this, okay. Okay, E first, and then spam basic, and then E again once the cooldown is up. E again, now spam basic, E again, heavy. So that's the special charge attack, only available during ultimate. And then we're back to normal form. We just use everything on cooldown, 2 parts E. So it's really hard to parry with Encore during this form. It's a lot easier during ultimate, so just be careful. She also takes reduced damage during the charge attack. That's pretty much it. That's how you play Encore. Okay, and now for one of my most favorite characters, Jianxin. She attack, she protect, she shield, she heals, she blocks. So let's go straight into battle and I'll show you what I mean. Her E skill is a block like this, and any incoming attack, she will negate all the damage and perform a counter. And any attack will generate her gauge, and once it's full, we'll see what happens. Okay? Let me parry this. Once it's full, press and hold left click. And as it reaches the different tiers, she gains the gauge. You can also stop this at any time, but if you let it hold all the way, she gains the biggest shield and also gets healing for 30 seconds every 6 seconds. So in other words, she can't really die if you constantly use her skills. So if I block it like this, there you go. Look, I can do it again. So I can release it early, like that. And her ultimate is a pull. Just pulls everyone in. Yeah, this is Jianxin. Okay. Let me block this. Like that. I can't even just charge this. Ignore all of Crownless's combo. There we go. Full shield again. Never killing me. Counter. So it negates every damage with her E skill. All you need to do is just hold E. That. Then charge this. And that's it. That is Jianxin. She does pretty much everything. And now onto the final character. So for Jiyan, his E skill is a forward thrust like this. And it gets further enhanced when he has gauge. So his gauge gain is really simple. Just fight in combat and he'll build the gauge. His E skill can also be used in the air like this. And that's about it. That's all you need to know. His ultimate can be triggered with and without gauge. If he uses his ultimate with no gauge, it looks like this. And then you just spam basic attack like that. You can also use E skill during this. If you use E skill during his ultimate, it's considered enhanced as if it has the gauge. And then it ends with the final hit of his normal combo. So that's Jiyan for you. Pretty easy to use. As long as he has gauge, just use E skill to enhance it. So let me demonstrate it to you. That. Okay, so look what happens. I'll use E skill, and it uses half a gauge for an enhanced E. E skill with gauge again. Okay, what happens when I have full gauge of ultimate? Let's find out. You can also activate this by jumping. So he will throw the spear instead and then go back to this and use E on cooldown. And then spam basic and then use E on cooldown again once it's back. E and then spam basic. And that's the end of it. Same thing. So the gist of Jiyan, you just want to enhance his E skill and ultimate with at least half a gauge when it's ready. That's pretty much his playstyle. And that's all 16 characters' playstyle summarized. I hope that has been helpful to you in understanding their playstyle for launch. And let me know in the comments on what kind of guides you would like to see in the future. I also stream Wuthering Waves, so you can also catch me on Twitch. Consider leaving a comment, like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.